Hey everyone, Mtashed here, and these are my top 5 tips for improving. Tip number 1, learn and master your primary. You're not always going to have your sniper or your shoddy, your grenades, your melee, your super, any of that, and you're going to need to rely on a primary weapon. I highly suggest learning 1, 2, 3 weapons at best and absolutely mastering them. Play with them constantly, know the ins and the outs, and have one for multiple situations. You might want the last word for a close range map, but you're gonna get dominated on something like Widow's Court, so you need a pulse rifle or a scout rifle, something you're comfortable with for those maps, for the different loadouts you might use. For tip number 2, main a subclass. Now, I don't care if you want to play Hunter and Titan and Warlock and switch things up just for the fun and sanity of yourself, but if you want to be a top tier player, you want to be the best of the best, stick to one subclass. The reason I say this is because when you perfect a subclass, once you actually understand every little detail about it, you're going to start performing better because you recognize, can I win this engagement or am I going to lose it? Because that might be different for a Titan versus a Warlock versus a Hunter. Whether it's how you're using your melees or your grenades or your super, every situation is going to play out differently based on your subclass. So I really do recommend mastering one of them so that you're never caught off guard. You know when you can win and when you need to get the hell out of there. For tip number 3, this is about special weapons, and oddly enough, it's completely opposite of my recommendation for number 2. Learn shotguns and learn snipers. I'm talking practice with both of them, because some maps just don't play well with one or the other. If you're on Thieves' Den trying to snipe and rumble, you're going to get shit on most of the time. Yeah, you can make it work if you take the right angles and play slow, but for the most part, there are certain maps that if you're using a sniper rifle, you're going to get dominated. Or you're going to play something like Widow's Court, and having a sniper is going to be to your advantage. Tip number 4. Troz of Osiris is not a competitive game mode. Now, when I say this, people are already going, what do you mean? It's really hard to get to the lighthouse. Yes, absolutely, it's hard to get to the lighthouse, but if you want to be a top tier player, Troz of Osiris is not the place to do it. Trials plays slower than any other game mode in the game. It is absolutely snail's pace because everyone is hard scoping or they're camping trying to get a pick before they do anything else. And then, after they do, the people on the other team are trying desperately to get the revive and get that player up. So what you get is a lot of slow play with people hard scoping, and you get a shit ton of people standing around in areas that they normally wouldn't in any other game mode because they desperately want that revive. I honestly think that this slow play, focused on picks and revives, leads to you being a slower player. If you're playing trials and then elimination during the week, I think that you're hurting yourself. Play some skirmish, play some rumble, put yourself in panic situations. Force yourself to adjust to players rushing you. It's extremely important to work on these skills, to do something different. If you're only playing trials and that's the only thing you're good at, then you're going to struggle in the other game modes. Same thing as if all you do is shotgun rush in skirmish or rumble. When you go into trials, usually you're not going to do as well because you're playing way too fast. You're playing into these slow tactics. So you need a mixture of both. Learn to adjust to your playlist, okay? That's my biggest tip there for number 4. Tip number 5 will help you improve more than any of the other ones combined probably, if you take the time to do it and actually care about the exercise. And that is watch your replays. On Xbox, on PlayStation, you can easily save your footage. So do it, and then watch it back to see where you died, where you made your mistakes, how you lost that game. Because you'd be shocked at how many little mistakes you might be making that at the time didn't seem important. But when you watch it back, you might be like, what the fuck? Why did I push in there? That was the stupidest thing. If you look at this blade dance right here, why am I just sprinting at this guy? I'm not even trying to be evasive. I died for free there. These little things become apparent when you watch your footage. Watch your deaths, watch your duels. Maybe you're hard scoping a door and you don't realize that you're aimed at chest height and not head height. These little adjustments that could make or break your game. Maybe every single last word duel you have, you're aimed a little bit too high, or you're not landing any crits. These little things can be fixed, but you might not recognize their issues until you watch your footage. That's it from me. That's my top 5, and hopefully you enjoyed. See you later, my friends. Bye-bye.